I want to bring to your awareness something that is very, very common in the awakening and ascension community. And then I'm going to help you unpack it a little bit so that you have a deeper understanding of the game you're playing with yourself. There are many, many of us, myself included at times, that just have this really deep drive to get this right, to get this process right, to become the highest version of ourselves, to become the most evolved human being, to align with our higher self and our divinity and get it right. And then we have to hear the messages from the right people and journal the right way and meditate often enough and just do all the things, cross all the T's, dot all the I's and get it right. And what I want you to understand is that the need to get it right is rooted in trauma. The need to get this process right is another trauma response that is just got some pretty wrapping around it. So let's look at that. The need to get it right says, I'm not already right. I'm not already worthy. I'm not already loved. But when I've ascended properly and I've become the best version of myself and I've become the highest version of myself and I get spirituality right and I'm doing it all right, then I will be worthy and I will be loved and I will have an experience of my life that's more what I prefer. And that's the carrot. So it is somewhat rooted in lack when we take on the ideation that we have to get this process right. Because ultimately, through the lens of God, you're already perfect. You're already worthy. You're already loved. And no matter how it is you're doing it right, because we're all just a feedback loop of expression and energy and consciousness back to the one consciousness. So you may be doing your spiritual ascension one way and I may be doing it another, and neither of us is wrong because we're all just a feedback loop. We are all just expressions of the one, doing it in our own way through our own unique template and expression. So there is no way to get it wrong, excuse me, but the need to get it right and to micromanage and to push and force and control our process is another trauma response. It's also it's a very masculine energy. It is a masculine energy that is about pushing, forcing, and controlling the process. Like somehow your ego and your masculine nature knows better, that it knows how to do this in the best way possible. And that's almost laughable too, right? When you sit back and you laugh and you go, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what that is. That is the wounded masculine saying, well, if I don't feel that I'm living the expression or the experience of life that I prefer, then there must be something in it that I need to control or change. When in actuality, everything that you may prefer is just a perspective shift, or you're just not there yet. And the only way to get there is to fully surrender into the process, however the process wants to express itself through you. That's all you need to do. So the need to get it right is a trauma response. The need to get it right is operating from the masculine that thinks that it knows that if it controls how the process is played, that somehow you will get to another version of yourself faster. And in actuality, the more you interfere, the longer it takes. It creates some lack because now you have perceived yourself as to not being enough now, but when I become this other version of myself, then life will get good. So you've thrown that into the future, into your quantum space, into your timeline, and now you're going to chase it. But what actually happens is you're just chasing the gap. You're just chasing the gap between, because when does that ever end? When do you wake up tomorrow and go, I'm good now, I don't need to try anymore? How does that work? You just keep creating more gap. It's also deeply rooted in the inner child experience, where the child perceived reality at around 5 years old that created the ego that says, ooh, there are a lot of ways to get this wrong. There are a lot of ways to not be loved, not be honored, not feel safe in this human experience. So if I get it right, if I effort at getting it right, the chances of me being safe, loved, and validated are higher. So there are lots of sort of petals to the flower of having to get it right. And actually, none of them are rooted in the divine truth of who you are. So pay attention. Pay attention to how much you are trying to manage your process. Pay attention to the words that you use about being another version of yourself, other than the version that you are right now. Because what we're actually doing is becoming it in the now. We're bringing it all in. We're pulling all of those aspects in so that all of it can be expressed through you. Be careful at how much you want to try and manage this. Is it important to participate? 100%. I'm not saying disconnect, lay back, throw up your feet, and call it a day and just let it be what it's going to be. Well, at times, that is also the answer. It's important for you to participate. It's important for you to care. It's important that you care and that you're invested enough in your own evolution, in your own life, in your own expression as divinity. It's important that you care, but it need not be something that you have to carry and manipulate and feel like you have so much control over it, because you don't have as much control as you think. We're all going to get to where we need to be anyway. So pay attention to your approach, cut yourself some slack, be aware that you may be playing in another trauma response that just has a really nice packaging. I hope that this helps you. You can meet me in the comments if you have anything to offer, to say, or questions to ask. Until next time, bye for now.